you so much for coming today. This is a very special day because we are here with friends and family, and we're kind of embracing something that, I don't know how else to say it. This is going to get bleeped. Brace. I'm swearing. It's the 50 era. Yes. All right? Which I am now a proud member of this club. But let me introduce our powerhouse panelists, and they are, like I said, family. We have Drew Barrymore, Valerie Bertinelli. We have the co-host of CBS Mornings, our male POV, my Hollywood Squares partner, Nate Burleson. Better than someone who has truly applied their life to the subject, the research, and the solves. It is icon Halle Berry.
Yes!
We're back together! Why do we have to get to 50 to have this liberation? How and when did it happen for you, Halle?
I was 54 and felt like I got dropped into hell. Nobody ever talked about this subject with me. I was scared, I was alone, I had no one to talk to. I didn't know what to do. I thought I was losing my mind. And I thought, oh, this is what's happening. I'm getting old now, and now I just go off into oblivion, and nobody's gonna care anymore. That's what I felt. I was very depressed, and cried all the time. I was a mess.
Was it the chemical reaction from perimenopause?
Yes.
Val, what about you? When did you start to feel differently about life?
I had to turn 64 before I really caught on.
Yeah.
So I was that people pleaser for far too long. And I just decided after everything that had happened to me last year, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to put myself, I have to care about myself. And at this age, I care less about what people who don't know me think about me.
And you know what? Can I tell you why that is? Because at Respin, you know, we have all the science. What happens when we get to this peri and our estrogen starts to plummet? We stop creating oxytocin. That's what we create when our body is full of hormones, when we're pregnant, when we're younger, when we're thinking about starting a family. And that oxytocin allows us to care about our baby.
That's why pregnancy felt so good.
Yes. When we go through menopause, what happens? When that estrogen goes, so does that oxytocin. And guess what? That's why we stop caring. Because that part of our brain...
it is scientific.
Yes, it's scientific.
Did I tell you she knows what she's talking about, by the way? Nate.
Yes.
We wanted you because you are funny, intelligent. There's nothing you can't do. You are an amazing husband, father,
Thank you.
partner in all things.
Thank you.
What do you think about this sort of new wave of an approach that feels a little more empowered, a little more loud, a little more confident?
I love it. 100% I love it. Listen, my wife has always been unapologetically her. But understanding what perimenopause is, that's a completely different way of unpacking what she's going through. And I have to be honest, preparing for this show, I learned more about my wife and what she's been going through over the last year or so than I thought I knew. So she's in the perimenopause stage. And so to talk to her and be transparent and ask her, what have I been doing and where am I lacking? The way she opened up, just because I'm on this show, it put us in a better position. She explained it to me like this. She said it's a roller coaster ride. There's hot flashes, there's mood swings. One day you're riding high, the next day the bottom falls out. And she's alone. And I feel terrible because I didn't know. But there lies the difference between knowing somebody is going through something and then standing there with them while they're going through something.
And hearing their experience.
And hearing their experience. And it's so important when it comes to the women in our lives because they are a different, a much better, a much sexier, a much more heightened, elevated version of who they used to be. Which puts us in a position of being exactly what we need them to do.
You know what? It's also important, just like we hold grace for our teenagers when they're going through puberty, their hormones are starting to now fill them up. We have to hold in our families the same grace for women as they're going into their menopausal years.
And this is such a good segue because our dear friend of the show who comes here all the time and someone I worked with when I was 16 years old, the great Andy McDowell, she sent us in a video and I think it really talks about and addresses some of the expectations that we put on ourselves, that society puts on us.
Yeah.
Take a look at this.
I love you, Drew. Thank you for doing this. I look back at my grandmother, who was the matriarch, a strong woman. We just revered her. We respected her. We never would have ever expected her to look young. That was not a concept that existed. And this concept has demeaned us as we age. It has now made us feel shameful. I have 3 little grandchildren, and I'm gonna be a grandmother for them, and I'm gonna look like I'm supposed to look. Because I love myself, and I don't have to look young. And I love you for doing this. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I love that. I love that.
I have chills.
I love that.
I have chills. Yeah. And it made me think of our special guest who's about to walk out, who is a viral sensation. She is having a huge effect with people. Her name is Melanie Sanders, and she started this new menopause movement with her groundbreaking words that everybody's adapting. It's the We Do Not Care videos. You might have seen them running around. Take a look.
We are putting the world on notice that we simply just do not care much anymore. Let's go ahead and get started with today's announcements. We do not care if we pay for a monthly gym membership and we do not go. We do not care if we lose our phone 13 times a day and keep it on silent. Shut up and help us look for it.
Here right now after the break.